this out yet. I've been looking at my phone, but I want to print it out.
Okay, Yonason, you're with us, yes?
Jeez.
We are...
I'm with you.
Okay, we're on page 7, and we're holding 42, the last paragraph. By the way, I discussed the idea of selling the Rebbe's that Hillel brought up. The Rebbe's, it's not just vodka; it's even wine. So it was. I told them incorrectly, because by the Rabbeim they didn't want a goy should have possession of a holy item. That was the main reason. Like Yonason said, so that applies to even non-chametz. You understand? Anything that's included in the sale, not non-chametz. I'm saying wine. He said wine. Nothing should be included in the sale to a goy. That's the main reason. But that's a Rebbe shazach. And he did say, my friend who I discussed this with, that the Alter Rebbe specifically does not say that you cannot sell, you shouldn't sell actual chametz. Alter Rebbe says you can. Others disagree, and that's why there are minhagim not to include real chametz in the sale. But the Alter Rebbe is not of that opinion. So as far as we're concerned, Lubavitch, it's definitely fine. And the fact that the Rebbe didn't do it is because he didn't want it to be in a guy's position. Okay, let's go to Membeis. Kishemocher haRebbe's chametz, when the Rebbe sold his chametz in 1974, just as it was the same kvias like this year, right? Which is that Shabbos is Erev Pesach. He said at that time there should be some change and difference in the mechira and the sale b'shana zu. He early Yud Gimel, right? Because we sell Thursday night. What?
Can you remind me where we are?
We're on page 7, the last paragraph. Ois Membeis. In other words, like this. The fact is, Moshe, that this year we make the sale, I think you mentioned the last night too, Thursday night. Right? Because you're being mevatel the chametz, so the sale starts from Thursday night, which is Yud Gimel.
No, I think the sale starts, not Thursday night, but Friday, let's say midday, so to speak, which this year is Yud Gimel. Friday, not Thursday, right?
He says here, early Yud Gimel.
So that would be Thursday. So that would be Thursday night.
That's right.
Yeah, that would be Thursday night. But that doesn't.
I don't know why Taka says early Yud Gimel. I don't know. Okay, let's go to 8. Let's continue.
Okay.
Yom Shishi Erev Shabbos. Yonason, you have it now? Yonason, you have it?
Page 8, Mem Gimel.
Yes. Yud Gimel Nisan or Yom Yilul Shakveit Kush is Yud Gimel Nisan is the yahrzeit of the Tzemach Tzedek. Nistalit, he passed away in 1866. And he's buried in the Chosek covered by in Lubavitch. It's the day when his youngest son, the Rebbe Marror, the 4th generation of Chabad, became Rebbe. Number 44. Bevada Yinatzal Yems Gulazeh. Surely you should use this day to learn, to increase in the study of the Tzemach Tzedek's Torah. Benigla v'chsidus umatov gimel pomer meshach hames less. The Rebbe suggests if you can add in the study of his Torah 3 times within the 24 hours. And the more you increase, the better you are. Some have a custom not to eat matzah on Thursday, Yud Gimel. Hi, Avi. And also, all the minim, all the different types that are part of charesis and marror should not be eaten, not only on Erev Yom Tov, which is Shabbos, but even on Thursday Yud Gimel. Avi, we're on page 8. You have the booklet, Pesach Chasidusi, page 8, Os Memvov, Sreifas HaChometz. Sreifas HaChometz is called HaChometz Shalei Nimker L'Goy, all the Chometz that has not been sold to the Goy, Uvechlal Zeh Aseres HaPitim, this includes the 10 pieces, Tzrichim L'Sreif Ad Seif HaSho, you have to burn them until the end of the 5th hour, Shor Azmani is K'moshin Shar HaShonim. The normal way of the timing of the hours that we do yearly, that's the same thing over here. It's important to rush to kind of get rid of the chametz. It should be done by the time. Don't wait for the last minute. Because you want the chametz to have enough time to burn. Before the designated time, for the last time when there is chametz allowed. Someone who didn't find the sum of the pieces that were put away for the search, yikach lechem noisef, so he should take additional bread, v'yechalkol lepitim, and divide them into pieces, v'yashlim es minyan asara petitim, and it should make up for the 10 pieces. So in other words, let's say you lose a few of those pieces, add a few more later to make up for the 10. Mem Zayin. You make a separate madura for the burning of chametz. You don't use your barbecue for it. At least there should be a kazayas of bread in the burning, so you fulfill the mitzvah of beer. It needs to have a kazayas. If not, he's saying it's not done properly. Soif Zman Sreifas Chometz Be'ezer Americas 1144 in I guess central Eretz Yisrael. Zorikim as a chometz le'esh b'yad yamin. You throw the chometz, your chometz with your right hand for a righty, iter yad yizah b'yad yin smoil. I don't know where he gets that from, but I guess it just makes sense. A lefty with his left hand, a righty with his right hand throws it in. Kishesoifen, when you burn as a chometz yesh lizor shelo yishpech olav neft. When you burn the chametz, don't pour any neft, not oil, kerosene. First, make sure the chametz is well burnt, and then you can add kerosene. Shem Yasa came for if you to do it otherwise. Nimtza Shapira chametz uposli machilas kelov aidei pikimase v'lei b'sreifa. Very interesting idea. We know that the burning of chametz and having it be the status where a dog won't eat it needs to be created through what? Through the beer, through the burning. And if you add kerosene, the kerosene invalidates the chametz from a dog being able to eat it. So then it's not the sreifa. So he says that's why you shouldn't do it that way. You should let it burn in the fire well, till the fire gets rid of it, and then you can add kerosene. Listen, these things, if you don't do it this way, it's not that you haven't done the mitzvah. I mean, I can't imagine. Just saying, because I always see people adding kerosene. They're not being careful before or after, but it makes sense what he's saying. She's downstairs soon. If you still have the aravas that you use, the Shana Rabbah, you should burn them in the sreifa, in the beer. The logic is, anything that's been used for a mitzvah one time, you want to use it for a mitzvah a second time. So here you use the aravas for the Shana Rabbah, so now you'll use the aravas to help burn the chametz, which is another mitzvah. The Rebbe was not careful to keep his aravas shalosh shanis. The Rebbe didn't do it that way. In other words, the Rebbe didn't keep it, and he didn't burn it. That's what he says. Okay, this is relevant this year. This year, when we do the burning on Friday, which is Yud Gimel, we don't say Kol Chamira. Right? Why? Because the Kol Chamura, the second one, is going on everything, including the leftover 10 pieces and everything. And you're still allowed to eat chametz, and we have to eat chametz. You wash for Shabbos morning. So Kol Chamira you only say later on, Shabbos morning after you finish the meal and all that. Someone who made a mistake, and he said Kol Chamira on Friday. He should re-say it on Shabbos. It's an important diuk. Okay? B'shonim Tavshin Lamadav Tavshin Mem Aleph in 1974 and 1981, which was like this year. Amar HaRebbe Hillel on page 8, paragraph 51. The Rebbe said, "As a Yehi Ratzon, the Yehi Ratzon Shalach Esrev Chametz B'Yom Erev Shabbos Kodesh." Very interesting. The Rebbe said the Yehi Ratzon after the burning on Erev Shabbos Kodesh.
Could that be, Rabbi Dolphin? Could that be because we can't burn on Shabbos? We obviously.
That's probably the reason. In other words, he felt the Yehi Ratzon is shaykh to the burning.
That's my question. Meaning, because on Shabbos, let's say you would take whatever little bits of chametz there's still left, and some people dispose. I mean, just as an example,
right.
They flush it down the toilet.
Right.
But so yeah. Yeah.
Hillel, you weren't here before, but I said that you said yesterday wine that's not chametz from the Rebbe would be acceptable to, and I said yes. I was wrong because the whole idea, I discussed it with a friend of mine. The whole idea with the Rabbeim is they didn't want their products to be in the hands of a goy.
Right. Yeah, you did mention that idea yesterday.
I did. Okay, I just wanted to clarify. Okay, we're on Nun Beis.
I thought about it hashkafically, that it certainly made sense. It's something that had come into the realm of kedusha, that you wouldn't want now to transfer it back into the realm of
right
kedusha. So
right.
That was a Hasidic way of thinking about it.
Yeah. Nun Beis 52.
I'm on page 6. You said which number?
We're on the bottom, page 8, the number 50. Nun Beis toward the bottom.
Okay, page 8. Okay.
B'shas bir chametz at the top. What?
Rabbi Dolphin, I'm sorry, just to go back. So again, this year we're going to burn obviously on Friday. So we don't say the kol chamira that we would normally say after the burning, but we do say the yiratzon.
Well, he says here that's the way the Rebbe did it. I don't know. I have to look to how we do it, because the Rebbe did this that way doesn't mean we do it that way. I can't tell you at this moment. I'll look into it and I'll let you know.
Okay.
In other words, this is a chiddush. How were you taught, all of you? When should you say Yehi Ratzon this year? Do you know?
I don't have any.
You don't remember. You don't remember. I think the normal way is to say it on Shabbos. But
okay.
the Rebbe, the way the Rebbe did it makes frankly more sense. Because the Yehi Ratzon is about the burning. If you look at the words of the Yehi Ratzon, it's about the burning and the destruction and all that. So it's associated with the burning. The argument would be, but it's all spiritual. So Erev Pesach is Erev Pesach. So I would think that, most people, let me look into it a little bit and I'll let you know, Linada. Okay.
Just one
Yeah.
question. And maybe Moshe would know better. Will there be public burnings this year that were not last year because of COVID?
That's a good
What do you
question.
think is going to happen burning-wise?
I don't know the answer. I'm assuming the answer might be yes, because thank God the things are getting better here and it's outdoors.
Right, so many things are opening up.
I don't. Yeah, I don't. Well, just to stay tuned.
Hillel, you have to be careful the way you said public burnings. You use some loaded words. Public burnings. That's the way you said it. Public burnings.
You can't say that
I
to
think
us.
somebody said that this year Lag BaOmer
Go away,
special mass burning.
It's fine. Right. Okay, let's go on. Nun beis. B'shas b'yeh chametz noyagdem livdek u'ladayis hakisim shaloi v'shtoikis. While you're burning the chametz, it's customary to shake out your pockets and your children's pockets that are standing with you. Okay. Lubavitch, in the city of Lubavitch, la'achas reifas hachametz, after they burnt the chametz, hayetoivlim b'mikveh. Interesting. They would go to the mikveh. Leifshem big day Shabbos. They would put on Shabbos clothes already then. V'oifem matzah's mitzvah. This is in a year when you're allowed, not like this kviyas. The whole, because according to the Torah, the zman of mitzvahs matzah to bake is after chatzos, after midday. That's why they charge so much in the bakeries for a matzah, right? So in Lubavitch, they would go to the mikveh, get dressed, Yom Tov Dik, and then bake the mitzvah, because it was the mitzvah of matzah. He says, the Rebbe loy nochal b'fiyas ha'matzah shaloi b'erev Pesach. Now let me explain. The Rebbe's matzahs that he distributed to people, Erev Pesach, were baked after Chatzos, but he wasn't there. I myself was part of the Kollel in 1984, and we were appointed by the Rebbe to distribute matzahs to others, and that matzah came from the matzah bakery from after Chatzos. That's what he's talking about. But the Rebbe himself was not there. But the distribution did not start till after. That's why it was very rushed. Especially people that had to go to New Haven or this. People would drive in. They would be the first on the line to get the matzah, and then they drove to the Bronx and to New Haven, and even to Boston, some people, because Pesach was late. So if you got the matzah at 12:30, 1 o'clock or so, you can barely make it back in time, and some people did that. Okay, page 9. Baltimore, all the places people wanted to bring some.
Right. Moshe, does Rabbi Shapira bake matzah?
I don't think so.
Okay.
By the way, I bought matzah here from Bet Shemesh. Is there? By the Hasidim. There's one bakery.
There is a bakery here, a big bakery.
But we're in Aleph or Beis?
It's
in Bet Shemesh proper.
Industrial area.
Right. Okay.
Near the.
Okay, so that's the matzah that I bought. Your matzah I have. Okay.
But I don't know where you can find it here.
Yeah, right. My son Usher just found out about this place, Hillel, and he went with some of his friends last night to try to go and see if they could, this is the second time he's been around there to just see what's going on there. It's kind of interesting.
1 second, but it has a chassid. It has a chassid. It has a Hasidic hechsher. You mean the Hasidim not running this? Who runs the bakery?
Yeah, it's a Hasidic group. It's a Hasidic group. They just rent a warehouse or something. I don't know.
Oh,
and that's
okay.
Where they do the baking.
Okay.
A lot of payas. It's a high payas content.
No. I listen. It's the first time. I hope it doesn't break my teeth and it's fresh. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. If you bought it in Brooklyn, it's quite possible that it was made last year.
That it was made from Hanukkah on, that's for sure. I mean, that's not even the Kvar Chabad matzah. You're not getting a matzah from a week ago. You're getting matzah from Hanukkah on. But in Ukraine, I've had the last few years Ukrainian matzah that Chabad makes in Ukraine. Very, very good and fresh because they wrap it very well with an inside plastic. Mm-hmm. So, right. I'm hoping that they did the same thing there. If not, whatever. Anyway, okay. Nun Dalet. Har Rebbe noeg lechalak matzah shmura erev Chag Pesach. The Rebbe was customary to do Chag Pesach. He did, give it out erev Chag. Achar mincha kushulovish beged when he was dressed with his silk kapota, shel Shabbos v'Yom Tov, and uvachakiras avneit and a gartel, which means it was a very significant moment when he handed the matzah to people, and he wished everyone a kosher and freilich Pesach. Nun hey. Nochon livdikas hamatzas mechshash kfulos. What?
What does the word avnate mean?
Gartel. A girdle. Nochon livdik.
But
In the Torah, no, you have it by the Kohen Gadol, the Parshat Tzava.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
A sash.
Right, no, I know, but does it mean like a woven? It says it imply implicitly that it's woven.
I don't know. I don't know what to compare it to in Hebrew to tell you. I don't know.
Is in Tzava talking about the big day kahuna.
Right. Correct.
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
But Avi, he's asking if it implies woven. Okay, nun hey, nochon livdekas hamatzas mechshash kfulos. This is important. A lot of people don't pay attention to this. When a matzah is baked, and it comes out in the oven, and this was my job for years when I checked matzahs. If the matzah is doubled over, it's called a kfula. You have to break that off, and you shouldn't eat that because it wasn't baked well. So there's a chash of chometz. You understand? And that's why usually in bakeries they have someone checking each matzah. Now I saw myself where the owner, matzah bakery owners, get upset when you break too many shleimas because they lose money. So they tolerate a few here, a few there, but I know this because I was very meticulous, and if I saw any little kfula, I broke, and the owner came over and he said, "Why are you breaking? Why are you breaking?" You know what I'm saying? They're very, it's not big and it's not full, but give you a hard time. So what he's saying here is that before you use your matzahs, you should check your matzahs, and if you see a kfula, you should break that off and throw it out. So this is something that's important. Again, it's a chash. It's a concern. I'm not going to say chas v'sholem, it's definitely chometz, but a chash on Pesach, we're careful about. That's Pesach. Yes, Moshe.
Just to identify it, because I don't think I've ever really seen it in the matzah.
Because you haven't checked.
No, I'm looking at them.
If one piece of the matzah is doubled over another piece, you have a matzah, and there's one piece that goes a little bit over the other. I mean, guaranteed you will find it in your matzahs. It's not even a question.
If we break it off, are they still shleimim used?
No. That's why they were very upset. They get very upset, the owners, because they can't really sell it as a shleima. But that's the halacha. Here's what?
My Rebbitzin asked if you have these kulos, the kshash is that it's chametz. When you break it off, there's no kshash that the rest of the matzah.
No. The question is whether that particular place was baked well, and if it wasn't baked well, then it's chametz. Not. You understand? It wasn't done within the 18 minutes. It doesn't affect the rest of the matzah at all. Not a question. The whole matzah is kosher.
If you find it on Pesach, how would you dispose of it?
You can just you don't have to burn it. It's a chash. You can just throw it out, throw it in the garbage.
Okay.
Again, don't get carried away with breaking all your matzahs. You understand? But if you see a real kfula, a real doubling over, now there's another issue. I don't know if we'll mention it later since we're on this. Sometimes you see a bubble, like a bubble in a matzah. That part also should, because that part was not baked well. That's why it created a bubble. That part should be cut out and thrown away. So those are the two things. Kfulos and the bubble. He says you should try to do this before beer chametz. Since there's a chash of chametz, you want to do it before. But again, if you come to your Seder, you come during Pesach, and you see it, you have to deal with it then. But that's why it's best to kind of check your matzahs before Pesach. Again, let me say that if one doesn't do this, it's not an aveira, and it's nothing to go crazy about. But a Yireh Shamayim should try to do this. That's the idea. Hachanas l'Shabbos. Ein levashel b'Shabbos zu ma'chol chometz devekim. Don't cook on this Shabbos chometz. Please.
What does the word devekim mean there?
I think I don't know. My chol chometz the bikim. Maybe I'm not reading the vakim. Usually it's in the word davik. I don't know. B'shash and nikshi. Sticky things. Sticky, maybe sticky things. Sticky.
Is the concern here about like the pas would have something stuck to them?
Could be, yeah. But yeah, in other words, if it's sticky, it's hard to get it off. Nun zayin. B'shash and nikshim l'ta. What?
I was just going to say, it's interesting lashon that he's using. This Shabbos, though, anyway, all the food has to be. The kitchen is obviously already pasted.
Technically, Moshe, you have till the zman of the beer chametz. You have the time till then. In halachic terms, if someone didn't have his kitchen ready, he hasn't violated anything. Sorry.
No, I understand that. I understand. I'm just saying.
I understand. Okay, I'm just saying. So he's. Let's go weiter. Nun zayin b'shoshen nikshim l'tavshilei Pesach. When you approach Pesach foods, k'dei lavirim l'kelim chat pa'amim, throwaway, the throwaway disposable. Yesh levada shakeli noki mikol pira chometz. B'shosh nikshim l'tavshilei Pesach. Kelim.
Are we talking here about like glues? Like you'd have a little glue to keep a paper on?
I guess so.
There might be a chashash.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. Nun ches, yesh lahashir chometz bekamos mukshoves miroish ubetzimtzum. One should leave over some chometz avur kol bnei hashvacha. Oh, he's saying you should have a little chametz left over to burn, hidden from the kids, but you should do the mitzvah, and like we learned before, it should be a kazayis, it should be a double choshev. Don't test. Yesh l'sad shulchan. The table should be set so that you could get rid of the pieces. Could they go in pieces mappa? A tablecloth. He's saying a throwaway, disposable. This is talking about Shabbos when you're eating Sudas Shabbos with bread. Sudas Leil Shabbos yeshlecho la'oid hadneder shebor choleim. You eat the Suda to the light of the candle. If you eat the chometz on another side of the house, because we know that the Suda should be illuminated with the candles. So I don't know if this is done. He's saying if you eat, like some people go into a basement. I once was in Meir Shurim, and they ate this, in the basement, so he's saying there should be some candles there too, even though normally you would light the candles upstairs. I don't know if this is done. That's what he's saying. It should be done because...
Rabbi
yeah? What?
Rabbi Heinemann in Baltimore used to say the ideal is that a Jew should have a separate house for Pesach.
Halavai. Okay. As Samach Aleph, as Aneres Yesh Alich B'tzas HaShulchan, put the candles at the edge of the table. Don't put it on the tablecloth that's designated that you eat chametz on it, because you want to get rid of that disposable thing. So you don't want, because you're going to use the same candle holders for Pesach, so you don't want them to be on the chametz. So put it at the edge where the chametz doesn't reach. Yesh lahochen kismin l'nikuy hashinayim toothpicks. Achar achilas chametz b'suda shachris. Okay. He's saying if you put in and he doesn't get into it here, but I imagine you have to be careful not to make your gums bleed. It's Shabbos. So using toothpicks, if it makes your gums bleed, there's a problem. But if you don't have that issue, he's saying, make sure to rinse out your mouth. Whatever, you can rinse out your mouth, doesn't mean you must use toothpicks. Hachonas Leil Seder.
I remember reading something about a Rebbe Hanhaga, but I'm trying to remember correctly. Changing their fillings on the fillings in their teeth on Shabbos. Do you know anything along this line?
I know that some people kasher if they have false teeth, they kasher their false teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. People, there's all kinds of.
Libun or in hot water? You need libun gabor?
No, it is discussed in the contemporary poskim, but I'm not familiar with what you're. I mean, I am, but I don't know more. The Rebbe's did this way, that way.
Right.
All I know is that people are entitled to all the chumras and all the mishagas in Pesach. It's the one time a year that you could be as crazy as you want, as religious as you want. No one should criticize someone else's religiosity unless it's your husband or wife that get in each other's way. Even then, you have to be respectful. Okay, Samach Gimel, preparation for the Seder. Yesh laharkiv b'yoyed yoyim masnenes chadosha l'pesach b'pius habrazim b'mitpach. I think, what's it called? Mesanenes. What is it called? A sieve. You should have a new one for Pesach, okay? L'chaven hashoyin haShabbos al pizman atzipli siyam haSeder. Set the Shabbos clock that you're going to use based on the Seder time when the light should go on and off. Lahashir ish luka, to leave on a lit candle ner neshama, lahadlik ner Yom Tov, right? Because you have to light the Yom Tov candle, ulubishul amacholim boy, and to cook food. So you can't Shabbos, you can't, and you need a fire. So leave on a ner neshama that will give you the light, a light that's you're allowed to take from that light on Yom Tov. Yes, Jonathan.
Because Yom Tov is on Shabbos, you have to be careful not to prepare food for Shabbos.
Right. He's going to say it now. Look further. Correct. Teichnim as a tamcha, chrein. This year you're going to have a weak chrein. Why? Because you're supposed to grind the chrein miba'oid joim from miba'oid joim mechasim. So you're not allowed to do that. Are you allowed to do that Erev Shabbos? No. So you have to prepare the chrein on Friday. That means you're not eating it for another pretty much day and a half. So you get away that it's not as sharp. Okay. Like he says, you should do whatever it is. It shouldn't lose its sharpness. He says, one of the aides in the Rebbe's house related that they did not hold they grated the grain Erev Shabbos, and they did not put it into a special keli after it was grinded. Im shachach legareroi. By the way, I think when the Rebbe used to eat entire pieces, maybe this is, in addition to taking he would make a ball of grain. I think my father told me he saw when he was by the Seder in 59 or whenever he saw that I would bite, and he didn't have teeth, and I used to hurt him on an actual piece of Marror. It was really kind of mitzvah. Okay. Im shochach legarerosh lo yigroid or yirstikel b'yomtiv. What if you forgot? You're not allowed to do it on Yom Tov. Ela yechtach oisam besakin, cut the grain with a knife, and not with a knife that's designated for grain cutting, because that's forbidden according to Shabbos laws, right? Lechatichas gedoylas k'tzas samach l'suda. So you cut it next to the suda, near the suda, into large pieces. This is to avoid, I guess, to bite it and all that. As achrein yesh lechol achat chinose kifi shehu. You can eat the grain after it's grinded the way it is, l'loi kol tesefes, without any additional items added to the grain. Samach zayin, tes zayin. I mean, in the last paragraph. Yes. In other words, romaine lettuce. Uh-huh. Some people they add some item to the grain to make it less sharp. He says you shouldn't do that. In Chabad we use romaine lettuce too because we consider that grain. That's a separate thing. But those that just use grain and that's it.
It seems like that's the maskana of the Gemara. The lettuce is
right. Samach zayin yesh litzlois azrayim b'yoyim. Same thing here. You understand? You should broil the zraya Friday. Im shochach v'lo yitzala, if you forgot. Also, let's lace it b'leil Pesach. You're not allowed to do it Pesach night because it's a malacha. You're not allowed to do that. Skip the parentheses. V'yaniach b'mkoima zraya mevushelis. A cooked fliegel, a shank bone that's cooked. In other words, I don't know how, in Chabad, we don't take a fully cooked, it's like raw that's broiled, a little broiled. Now he says, so if you didn't do that Erev Yom Tov, okay, so then take a fully cooked zroya and put it on your kaira. Next page 10. Noyagim lahoser kamat kol haboser. Our custom is to take off, remove the meat from that shank bone, that zroya. Kadesh la'yil zroya dimyu l'korban Pesach, because you don't want it to be comparable to korban Pesach, because it's not, you're not allowed to eat the korban Pesach. It's not bisman shabbat. So you don't want it even to appear that we're having on the kaira. So we chip away. It looks like a crippled zroya, Avol ma'at boser, a little meat, one second, you should leave a little bit. Shekain etzem, loy boser, because a bone without meat, is not considered a cooked food. So you need a cooked food. You need a tafshil. So you need it. It should have some boser, but not all of the boser. We do this Friday as well. Someone wanted to say something? Yes, one thing. Yes, lahachan has achraises by Joim, charaises too. So you see, he's enumerating here everything. You should prepare the charaises Friday. Vim shochach lachina. Again, what if you forgot? Yischakim besakim. You should yechatchem. Sorry, besakim. Cut it up with a knife. The chatichas gedoyles. One second, we're talking about charaises. What should you cut up? You mean the bananas? The apples? I guess so, huh? The items used, Moshe, for charaises have to be done Erev Shabbos. If you forgot, He's saying cut them in large pieces before the Suda, not on Shabbos.
Knife rather than a grater.
Yeah, what'd you say? What?
Use a knife rather than a grater.
Right, but remember, you're not allowed to do all this on Shabbos. This is before the Suda. Matza Shabbos this year, that's when you do all these things. Samach l'Suda. By the way, Samach l'Suda, I believe means before this. It doesn't mean that you start the Seder without the items. You need the items on the Kaira, right? Samach l'Suda means before you begin Kiddush,
After mileage.
What?
After mileage.
After Ma'ariv, correct. So, and I don't know, see, the women, you're saying, you're being Medayik, they shouldn't do this before the Zman of Ma'ariv, from what? From the Shkia till the Zman? Is that your point? You saw that? You saw that, or are you just saying that from logic?
No, you have to make sure that it's mamish after Shabbos.
Yeah, right. Right, it has to be after Shabbos. Correct. That's the word. Okay, Chevra, we'll learn tomorrow again in Mitzvah Shem. So remember, we're on page 10. Hold your place, mark it, keep it out so we can have it tomorrow ready. We're on Samach Tes 69. If you have any particular shilas, you can WhatsApp me during the day. I could, look it up or talk to someone. What was it that I wanted to check the before? And remind me, please. Something that we learned that I said I wanted to... What?
It was the Hiratzon. The
Hiratzon, right. I want to look that up.
Yeah, like the whole Seder.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Seid gesund, Hatzlacha. Bye, a good day.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
How do I close this?